When Frances Marion won the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay in 1930 for The Big House, she became the first writer to be celebrated with an Oscar. She would go on to win one more for the Champ, becoming Mary Pickford's favorite screenwriter, and above all, the most paid female screenwriter in Hollywood, even more than most men, writing more than 200 screenplays. Besides Frances Marion, at that time, there were also other very powerful women, screenwriter and author Anita Loos, and also Louis Weber, the very first female movie director. These are achievements of which only Hollywood can boast. Since its beginning, Hollywood has been the mecca of the movies, but above all, the mecca of the most glamorous and powerful women in the world. From Frances Marion to costume designer Edith Head, to stars like Mary Pickford, Jean Harlow, known in Hollywood as the Blonde Bombshell, Greta Garbo, Marlene Dietrich, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, Sophia Loren, Judy Garland, and then Julie Christie, Romy Schneider, Brigitte Bardot. As you can see, they came to Hollywood from all over the world, and there's a man who was able to form an intense bond with many of them, taking photos that were emblematic and which then remained in the history of the world of glamour and, of course, of Hollywood. To speak about women and the glamour of Hollywood and Hollywood women, we have the legendary photographer and a good friend, Douglas Kirkland.
Joe, you are the legend of Hollywood.
No, Douglas. One of your most beautiful photographs for me of Marilyn Monroe.
I've been very lucky with Marilyn. Marilyn's been very good to me. I was with Marilyn on 3 different occasions. The first time I went to see her, it was in her little apartment, very conservative apartment. She tapped the edge of the bed and she said, "I just think of this as a couch. Just sit here beside me." Now, she was so much like the girl next door. So easy and comfortable to be with. And then the next time I saw her was the time we did the photo shoot. This, among other images. And there's another one up here. And the interesting thing is, it was a different person. She arrived late and came into the studio.
How late?
Yeah, how late? We were supposed to start at 7. It was more like 10 o'clock. She stepped into the room and she seemed to almost float in slow motion. And she was very luminescent. She was Marilyn Monroe, this superstar at that time. And
did she have hair and makeup done?
No, it had all been done. She came in, well, she had a lady who touched her up, but not really. Anyway, and here Marilyn is, about 2 meters in front of me, and she said, "I'm going to get in the bed with just a white silk sheet." She wanted a white silk sheet, Dom Perignon champagne, and Frank Sinatra records. So here is a nude Marilyn, arm's length away. Wow, the blood vessels were really going in me. And then Marilyn played it completely. I think she was so in control of that. And at one time she said, "Why don't you come in here with me?" And I come from a small town and somewhere or other I just couldn't do that. And what really happened then is that that connection she wanted to make, we did that all through the Hasselblad camera I was using. And I acted like I didn't understand what she said. "Why don't you come in here with me?" That's the truth of the matter. And this picture over here is the one she really fell in love with, where she was under the sheets, and she looked at that picture and she said, that girl is holding a man there. That's what the pillow represents. And she said, that's the kind of a girl any man would like to be in that bed with, including a truck driver.
You truly love women.
I care about women. This is the essence of our life, our world, and it's my world. I love photography, and I channel through women, truthfully.
Do you ever get tired of it?
No. I want to just show you, this is Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren, yes.
Yeah, this is the Italian section. And here's a magnificent lady sitting beside Sophia as Joe Champa.
I'm honored to be sitting beside Sophia.
This is what happened with this picture. Sophia looked at it, and she opened it very carefully and looked at it silently. And I said, I remember when we took that picture. Do you? She said, oh yes, I remember. And she said, there was something about this picture that I was not aware of at the time, but I was pregnant at that time. And that's why her breasts are so full and everything. But she is beautiful. And then she pointed over at the side, and it was with her son, Eduardo.
Douglas Kirkland has photographed everything from photojournalism to fashion to music, always searching for beauty. But movies were always his passion, documenting the sets of Hollywood and his stars and interpreting them with an extremely personal style with his camera. And I know that you work all the time on every movie with Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, I do. I think I've worked on every film Baz has done since Moulin Rouge. You know, the interesting thing about working around movies is it's when you're on a set or working on a project, it's like you're all family. And I by the way, have worked on more than 150. I think it's closer to 170 movies. And some of them I'd like to remember very much, like Titanic. And that was on the bestseller list of the New York Times for 6 months. I've been a very lucky guy as a photographer with beautiful women like you, Joe, and so many others.
Douglas and his wife Francoise have a collection of the history of his work, shots and memories.
This print is kind of, this is Betty Davis.
Been through many times. You know, Betty Davis said one thing. And,
but look at this is really like a uniform.
This is what we have. For example, Dietrich, Marlene Dietrich.
How was she to work with?
You know, it's interesting that you asked that, Joe. She was age 60 at this time. I had read in my research that she loved green. So when she said to me, which one do you want? I said, oh, the green one. And so she put the green dress on, and then it was just a question of showing my love for what she was doing. And she said, you know, what you did was very good. And then she said something else quite interesting to me. She said, you know, I've worked so hard to get ready for photographers and sometimes motion picture directors, and they don't get the most out of it. And you did get the most out of it. That was a very interesting lesson for me.
And what about Angelina Jolie? Talk to us about Angelina
Jolie.
Jolie.
You asked the right question at the right moment, Joe, as always. Okay, I was hired by 20th Century Fox to photograph Angelina Jolie. She was up in Vancouver working on a film for them. And they wanted some wonderful pictures of her. But I learned that she had purchased a Marilyn Monroe like this one, and it was in her house. And she said, you know, I will do whatever you want. I'll do all these sketches here and for the photographer, Douglas. And if providing you let me do one thing, I want to get into a bed with him, not with him, in front of him and his camera, and with nothing on but a white silk sheet. And Marilyn, by the way, had said, and it must be silk. And this is exactly what Angelina did. And the interesting thing is she made a great image here, and but she made it her own way, and that's the creativity. And I love them both. So this has been part of my world. This is part of the world I live in, and I know you do, Joe, and so many of us do. How could you want to walk away from this? People, I'm 81 years of age, and people say to me, aren't you ever going to retire? No, I'm not, because I mean, what would I do? I couldn't have more fun than I'm having today. It's like you gentlemen and ladies making movies. That's the passion, and that's what we really care about, and that is Hollywood.
But Hollywood also lives of music. And in the next episode, we'll meet an Academy Award winner, Herbie Hancock, waiting for you at Joe's Hollywood.